Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, hello, my name is Sam and it's lovely to meet you. If you're not new around here, welcome back. If I seem a little bit low in this video, I'm okay mentally. I think I've got a bit of a cold. The weather kind of did a bit of a shift here in the UK. We went from like really freezing colds to quite warm over the weekend to quite chilly again today. So I feel like the weather changes always kind of make me a little bit bunged up and stuff, but I'm absolutely fine. I just wanted to make you aware that I might be a little bit quieter. But if you haven't already guessed by today's thumbnail, I'm super excited to do this one. My videos just lately have been non-stop reviews and makeup tutorials and doing more than one look with a palette. So I wanted to do a bit of more of a chilled vibe, and I've seen this video floating around over on YouTube and I really wanted to create it myself. So it is if I could only keep 10 palettes plus one. I'll explain that. So I went through my collection. This actually took me about a week. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I've got over 100 palettes, not as many as some like YouTubers, influencers, content creators have, you know, hundreds and hundreds. I have over 100. So yeah, it's still enough. So I had to pick 10 and I found it really difficult. But to be fair, when I was going through them, I thought to myself, you know what, I could think at the end of this year, I could do a bit of a declutter. So I think I will use my palettes this year, and then at the end of the year I might do a little declutter. So yeah, let's just dive into it and let me show you the 10 palettes of the whole of my collection that I would keep. As I said, it's 10 plus 1. Now the reason it is 10 plus 1 is I had the 10 palettes. They were set in stone, they were on my desk, and I was like, that's it, I'm ready to film this. It took me about a week to decide through these palettes. And I kept going back and forth thinking, yeah, making sure I definitely got everything that I think I would need going forward if I was to get rid of everything and only keep 10. And then my boyfriend looked at the pile and he was like, so you're not keeping a single palette that I've bought you? And I was like, shit, I actually haven't, but I couldn't get rid of these 10 because it had taken me so long to decide. So I did end up pulling in another one, just to keep the men happy. You know what? You know how it is. So that is the one that I'm going to start off with today. So this is the one that he bought me for Mother's Day. This is one of them. So he bought me both of these palettes. These are the Game Beauty palettes for the Persona 5 release. And out of the two, I would decide to keep the Metaverse palette. Now I do have a reel up of this. I've used it once, I've used it in a reel, I mixed them both together, but the colour story, I thought I didn't have many neutrals. I'm not a neutral lover 90% of the time anyway. Yeah, but I didn't have many neutrals, so I was like, okay, I would keep that, and it is really stunning. And honestly, the mattes in here and everything, so blendable. I was like, okay, I can have that one in my collection. That's absolutely fine. But that is my plus one. So now we're going to dive into the actual 10 that I had picked. Some of these are new. I don't think any of them are discontinued. Oh, there's one. There might be two. I'm not too sure. Let's just dive straight into this anyway. So again, this is one of my newest ones in my collection. This would be the Sea Talk palette from Laura May Beauty and Olden's Eye. I've recently ranked this. Go and check that out. It was in my March eyeshadow palette ranking. Go and check that out, see where it landed. But I would definitely 100% keep this. I have the neutrals, I have the pops of colour, I have everything really to create many different looks, many bright colourful looks. The only thing that's missing for me is an inner corner highlight, so I wouldn't want to pop into the yellow, but again, pull in your highlighter and you've definitely got a look. And honestly, it's a stunning palette, and the packaging, beautiful. Coming in at number 9, we obviously thought this was going to happen. I would have been very surprised at myself if I didn't. But could you guess which Pat McGrath palette I would be keeping in my top 10? If you'd watched my 2022 eyeshadow palette ranking, then I guess you would think that Moonlit Seduction would have been in here, because that came out on top, #1 palette of the year. But in fact, when I was looking through them, when I was looking and I was thinking, I don't think that it would. It is a stunning palette, and I hold my hands on my heart when I say I absolutely love it, and it does have a special place in there. But out of this one or another one, and I didn't want to have to keep two because I wanted to keep it quite varied, I would keep Bronze Seduction without a doubt. This was the first Pat McGrath palette that I ever purchased, so it again holds a special place in my heart, and I have done some stunning looks with this. I definitely have got a YouTube video with this up, because I did 10 Halloween looks with this, and this was in those 10 days. Was it 10 days I did? 10 days of Halloween makeup looks, might be 7. I can't remember. But yeah, this was one of the palettes that I used for a look. If I can open it, it's not upside down. Of course, we all know it's the Black Sleep packaging, and this is one of the best selling palettes for an absolute reason. I don't really particularly care for this shade down here. It's okay, it's not my favourite. It does add something to it, but everything else in this palette I absolutely love. I love the fact that you've got these more smoky golds and like this kind of gunmetal shimmer here. Honestly, you've got an inner corner. It's not bright, but it's workable, and you can top it off with that if you really want to. Again, it creates some stunning looks. I absolutely love this red. I really do. I've used this recently. I think I used it on Valentine's Day when I went out for a meal for Valentine's Day. So of course it would definitely have to come with me, just because it was the first one that I purchased. And I think obviously next to Moonlit Seduction, it is my most used Pat McGrath palette. Next is actually one that has discontinued. I do apologise, but at the end of the day, this isn't me ranking a palette or telling you to go out and buy the palette. This is just something that I would keep personally for myself. You guys might have different views, so let me know down in the comments if I've picked anything from here that you would definitely keep. This is the Adept Cosmetics Arrow inspired palette. Now, I have just purchased the Heather Austin palette, and that again was in the March rankings. So, but the mattes in there aren't as good as these mattes. That I feel like their matte formulation has definitely changed. The shimmers in there are absolutely stunning, beautiful. But again, I have everything in this palette. I have that green. I love a green look. I love green eyeshadow. So of course I was bringing a green eyeshadow along with me. Again, it was between this one and the Hella palette from Olden's Eye. I was like, oh my god, I don't know which one to pick. And I ended up going with this one, just because it's got so much more variety and so many like different shimmers, and you could create so many different looks. And you might not think that you could create many different looks with this palette, but you can. It is absolutely beautiful. Again, I do have a video up, I think, on all of these palettes. I think on all of them. Next one that I chose was the Spooked palette from Gourmand Girls. This was their Halloween collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny last year, and I believe it is either in stock or coming back in stock very soon. This sells out a lot. It is absolutely beautiful, and honestly, it is not just for colour lovers. If you kind of block out these, you have your neutral section over here. Honestly, you can kind of block out these, and you have even that purple, and you have like your full section with the orange, the brown, even that green, and these two shades right here. Actually this one. So if you just block out that white and those colours, you have an absolutely beautiful look. Yeah, or you can stick to the brights, and like I say, like you have your summer looks, because you have your bright green, your bright pink, your bright orange. This is an all year round palette, and Christina absolutely smashed this palette along with Doodles by the Bunny. All these palettes will be linked down below unless they are discontinued. This one isn't, but it might be a pre-order. It's definitely coming back. I just I don't have that information right now. This is a palette that quite surprised me. I didn't think that I would put this in here, and then when I was looking through, I was like, you know what, last year I absolutely reached for that so many times, and I can't wait for fall to actually play with this again. Like, I literally cannot wait for it. And it is the Nomad Hudson Valley palette. Now, I will just say I haven't put the newest palette in this ranking. Like, well, it's not a ranking, but in the 10 palettes that I would keep, just because I've only used it once. So I don't know if I would. You know, it is stunning, but there's more videos, there's more looks coming up with that palette. This is the colour story. This is such a beautiful fall neutral with your pops of colour. Stunning, absolutely stunning palette. It does only have these 3 shimmers, which is a little bit disappointing, but I can't complain because I absolutely, every look that I created with this palette was just 10 out of 10, stunning. I even did an all matte look with this palette. I'm not an all matte look type of person, but no, I've created some beautiful looks with this palette. Mine is a little bit bashed actually. This red is just so beautiful. This like wine colour down here, which is actually called Wine Harvest, is it? Yeah, Wine Harvest. Absolutely beautiful, it really does. I just think all the shades just match the names. Like I say, like that one is Wine Harvest. This one is Apple Cider Donuts. It's just beautiful. I just love it. I had to put it in here. Next is one I'm pretty sure is discontinued, but I think you can buy the singles. I think. Don't hold me to that. I'll link it down below if you can. This is Simply Posh Cosmetics Fairy Tale Fairies. The first one that I ever bought from the brand. I own this one and Genuine Gems. I didn't buy the Berry Eyes palette. The colour story didn't really speak to me. But they've got one coming out soon and they've shown the outer packaging. And I'm like, that looks like such a summer palette. I'm very excited to see any more sneak peeks that they are doing. It has like lemons and stuff all over it. It looks beautiful. But this is obvious. This is one I would keep. Again, I've used this so many times. I absolutely love it. These shimmers are so beautiful. Even these ones down here that are more of a toppery shade. They are just so stunning, reflective, sparkly. I love the fact that it has greens. It has the pastels. I didn't really have any bright pastels in my collection at the moment. So I was like, yeah, this one is definitely going to be coming with me. Sticking on that kind of pastel theme and packaging and my first palette from the collection, it is the Allure Blend Bunny palette. I flipping love this. I really do. I've created so many looks with this palette now. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. I have no words for it. The shimmers are absolutely outstandingly beautiful and sparkly. This multi-chrome up here is amazing. This shade, this Storm Ahead shade, is so beautiful. It's just so unique to my collection. I have nothing else like it, and I just love how, you know, it stays in the rose. It's so beginner friendly. Yeah, I love it. And again, we have the pastels, we have your midtones, you have your deeps. You know, you can create so many looks with this palette, and I already have. Sticking on and getting into bright and beautiful now. I had to put this in. I had to pick another palette from my absolute, one of my favourite top brands. I had to have this palette in my collection. It is the Nomad Monteverde Cloud Forest palette. From the packaging to the little outer sleeve, to the colour story, to the theming, to just absolutely everything. This is my summer in a palette. This is just summer in a palette. I didn't have a summer palette, and this is I think this is the brightest palette that I would be taking forward with me. And I am a bright lover. I'm a bright lover, but I have everything that I need in this palette, and I could mix this with the pastels from the Lure, with the pastels from the Fairy Tale Fairies. I could mix it with some, you know, different shimmers that I have in my collection, because I do always say that I wish there was different shimmers. There is a lot of green toned shimmers in here. You do have your blue one, but other than that, I would just pull for any other shimmer out of any other palette, because this palette is flipping amazing. Absolutely love this brand. Had to have two. See, I know you're going to say that I had this a few days before I got the Nomad palette, but I've created 3 looks with it now, and I'm wearing it today on my eyes, and I believe the 2 other looks that I've created are already up on my channel. They should have gone up on Monday. So yeah, I had to include this palette in here just from creating the looks that I have created. It is the Man Eater Arttitude Cosmetics palette. This is amazing. This is a UK indie brand. Everything is over on that channel, linked and listed. This is beautiful. I mean, it's my second favourite animal. First being a penguin, you should already know that. But I've created such a neutral, when you open this, people are like, it's too bright, that's too bright for me, it's too colourful for me, I can't have that palette. Look at this look I've created today. Stunning, absolutely stunning. And literally all I used was feline, hunter, carnivore, predator, kingdom and claws. And I've created such a stunning and neutral look. I was so happy that I was able to do that. I'm definitely going to be dipping more into this palette, but as I said, I've used majority of the shades in here now, so I have a feel for how it works. I'm so happy with the mattes that are in here. This is stunning. It's sold out for a reason. It's currently a pre-order. When this video goes up, I'm not too sure if that pre-order will have sold out, but whatever stock she has remaining will be up on her page in about 6 to 8 weeks once the pre-order has gone out. So definitely keep your eyes peeled if you're interested in testing another UK indie brand. Last place, which one would I keep? It was, of course, going to be Cosmic Brushes Serenity. I had no choice. Another UK indie brand. I'm sure you have seen this palette all over Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It is a UK indie brand and it retails for around £20, I think. There are also discount codes floating around, so definitely check that out. This palette sells out every single time. Absolutely every single time that they restock it, it sells out. I really think they need to do a bigger order because it's a sellout palette for a reason, and this is what the colour story looks like. It has every single colour that I love. I love purple, I love blue, I love green, and this just has it all. It has pastels, it has depth, it has an inner corner, it even has a blush shade. I've used this as a blush and it's very pretty. It has beautiful shimmers. The shimmers aren't like as bright. There are quite a couple of darker shimmers in here, but I just love this palette. I've created so many looks with this palette, and yeah, it's absolutely stunning. It is always going to be coming with me. So that's it, guys. That is all of my 10+1 palettes that I would keep if ever I had to get rid of them. But I'm not getting rid of any of my palettes, not just yet. Keep a look out till the end of the year if you're sticking around still till then, and you might see a declutter coming up. I don't know, I haven't decided. Everything that I'm wearing on my face will be linked and listed down below, so take a look at that, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.